Now I'm going to try to set this header for the 8-foot garage door. I've already cut one of them to length just to get ahead. And then I've got some OSB that I'm going to rip down to sandwich in between it to make the header as thick as the walls. So it's not too heavy, but it's long, so it's going to be a little awkward getting up there by myself. But so hopefully it won't give me too much of a fit. You know, just lifting it's not really a big problem, but getting it fit inside over the jacks and underneath the top plate and in between the king studs, making it slide in there. I cut the openings just a little bit wider than I needed to, so hopefully it'll slide in just fine. So we'll go ahead and give it a shot. I went ahead and marked the crown. So this is the crown. I want this side to go up. I'm sorry if I'm in your way. There's no place on the outside of the building to set a ladder that's stable enough, so I need to do it from in here. All right. Well, that went well. Nice. Okay, so now I'll just go ahead and get the OSB tacked in place, and then I'll cut the next header or next tube of 12 and set it on the outside. One 14 and 3/8. All right. Now what to do? Ridge beam, 2/8. All right, so I'm gonna start putting the top plate on, which is basically a 2x4 that runs around the top of the wall on top of the other top plate. Except this top plate will tie the walls together, and I'll show you what I mean here in just a second. So as you can see, this 2x4 just lays on top of this one. The only difference is where these two walls come together, this one stops, this one comes here and stops, this one goes all the way to the end. So the top plate will come all the way over this side, nail here, and it ties these walls together. Now this is just a spacer. So I'm not gonna nail that, but it'll tell me where to start this plate. So I can go ahead and start this one. I don't want to do this one because this is the side where the rafters are going to go, and I want to lay those out for the rafter locations before I nail it. So I'm going to start here, and I'll set this back. As you can see, I'll set it back, and that way when I do go to put this top plate on, it will tie these two walls together. So just nailing these every 16 inches, but you also want to make sure that you're flush on the outside, and it helps straighten the walls up too. So here I'm just pulling these flush, and you have to check this every couple of feet because these boards aren't straight, so you gotta make them straight. Now some things that you want to watch out for is like when you get to a splice, you want to nail on either side. And you don't want to splice this one close to this. You know, I keep it 2 feet. Actually, I normally try to stay 4 feet off. I think the code is 2 foot separation, but I normally try to keep it a 4 foot difference. But here we have a long way to go. So, but if I get to one of these, then I'll be sure and make sure this one is cut 4 feet away, you know, like way down here somewhere. So now we're down to the end. This one needs to come in just a little bit. So I need to pull this in a little bit and then I'll nail it. But I can't do that with one hand. So just know that's what I'm doing. Straightening this out, and then I'm gonna nail it over each stud. So I don't know if you can see or not, but so for the remainder of this plate, I want the plate to go all the way over to the end of this wall, because that wall goes all the way to the left corner. So I want them to cross. So I'll pull the measurement, looks like it's 91 3/4. So I'll cut that, and that way the top plate will extend all the way over to the wall over there. And just like always, I'm crowning these so the crown will go to the outside. And I don't know if you can tell this or not, but right now the crown is dipped down. So I want to flip this over so the crown is up, and that will be the outside. Here, just like that. So this will butt in here over a stud, and then the plate will extend over the top of the other wall. And so I'll straighten that out, make it flush with the outside of the wall, and nail it on top of each stud. You don't want to get in the habit of nailing over empty bays. For this building, it really probably doesn't matter. But typically in a house construction, you don't want to nail over empty bay. You need to save those spaces for plumbers, electrical, mechanical, and stuff to use those to drill through. And if they have nails in the way, you know, obviously that gets in the way. So you try to keep the bays open and nail over the studs. And then joining walls, another good thing to do is 5 nails in the a wall that you're tying in, and at least 2 or 3 nails and the stud next to it, and that ties the walls in. So the next top plate is going to go down the long wall, which is the side the rafters are going to lay on. So I'm going to go ahead and lay out the top plate just so there's less work for me to do on the ladder. So I'm going to lay these out so the rafters will be 16 inches on center, and we'll start with this one. Okay, so this is that top plate we were just talking about. So since the corner is tied in right here, this is the actual outside of the wall. So I'm gonna lay these out 16 inches on center, which would be here, but I'm gonna set back 3/4 of an inch and mark it at 15 1/4, and then set ahead. And I can continue to marking these all the ways down, setting back 3/4 of an inch. So I'll just put a nail in my first layout mark. I'll pull my tape. And so now each mark that I've marked so far is 16 inches, or on the 16. So I stop there so I can continue on here and mark this at 64, set ahead, 80, set ahead, 96, and so on. So then I could go ahead and mark these off. So since I pulled my measurements from this end and laid out this way, I need to make sure that I start with this end at the corner. Otherwise, the whole layout will be a waste of time, because it won't work. So now I'm laying out for the next one. So since I didn't cut the top plate, on a 16-inch mark, the top plate extended over past the last rafter 5 7/8. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to burn 5 7/8, start my tape there, and then pull 16 inches from here all the way down. And that'll keep me in line with the rest of the rafters, rest of the layout. So keeping my tape on the 16, keeping my marks on the 16s, 16, 32, all the 16-inch increments. I can go all the way down and finish laying it out. In order to show you what I'm talking about. So this rafter, or this layout for the rafter, stopped 5 7/8 inches from the end of this plate. So when I laid out this plate, I burned 5 7/8, made my mark at 16, and then they all fall in line. If you can follow me here. This might be elementary to most of you, but anyway, just like to explain myself. So anyway, so now these will stay in line as long as I don't mess up the math all the way down. Everything will be laid out and should fall in line. And when I put the sheeting on, the sheeting should land in the center of the rafter, hopefully. This is dangerous on a ladder. This happens all the time. Coming down the ladder and your hammer gets stuck just like that, and sometimes it'll get so stuck it'll push you off the ladder if you're not careful, if you don't catch it in time. And then this hammer holder that I'm currently using is the worst. When I started using it, I've been using it a couple of years. I thought it would be good because it had a swivel, and so it would have some give in it. It wouldn't catch on everything. And then if I'm bent down, I can pull it out this way. But sometimes it falls out, and then other times, so what's even more dangerous is sometimes when you're on the ladder, it gets hung up, and it happens all the time, and you have to be really careful. So thankfully, I wised up and decided to get a new belt. I've ordered a new Diamondback tool belt, and it's actually being shipped now. So I'm really excited for it to get here, because I'm going to put this thing out to pasture. And I've used it for, I don't know, 7 or 8 years probably. I've just gotten by with it. And I don't like wearing tool belts anyway. I try to get by without it, but they're pretty necessary. So I broke down and spent a bunch of money on a Diamondback tool belt. So I hope it gets here soon, and I really hope it's worth the money. But just a word to the wise, don't buy these. These are, maybe they have their place somewhere, but not on a ladder. So, just food for thought. So now I gotta have two measurements here. I gotta know where to start my layout, and that'll be 7.5. And then this one needs to extend over past this wall to tie it in. So the top plate needs to be 18.25. A quarter, 7.5. So I don't know where it is now. I'll take it out. Oh, here it is. So I told you I bought this pencil. I really like it, but I don't know. When I get my new belt, you know, that's where I'll put it to use, because I think it'll be more out of the way because there's a place for it up on one of the front pouches. But if I put it in this belt, it's in the way of everything. If I stick it here, then it's in the way when I hang my nail gun and everything. So, but if you haven't seen one of these, check them out. They're pretty cool. So this is basically a sleeve. Has a pencil sharpener on the end of it, and you stick it in there. You stick it in there and you sharpen it right up, just like that. And it works just like a regular lead pencil. You just squeeze this, and push it in, get more lead, and you can buy lead refills. So this will stay inside your pouch, and you can just pop that in there. I don't know. I'm gonna try it out and see if I really like it or not. I still really like my good old-fashioned Carpenter's pencils. I mean, these work great, you know, and they don't cost anything hardly. You know, these are a little expensive. I bought 2 of them. I think they were $25 for a pack of 2, and then $10 for some lead or something like that. So I'm gonna give it a shot, but you know, I'll probably still keep using these because I really like these too, and these are durable. So, but who knows? But for now, I really probably not going to be using it until I get my new belt, because I'm just going to break it, or it's just going to get lost or something. So just thought I'd share that with you. So I got 5 nails in that wall, 3 over here, and now this one will be faster because I don't have to do the layout. So I can just go straight 16, but I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna put a short block here first, because if I continue 16, it's going to end over the same splice as the other wall, right over top of it. So I'll probably just do an 8-footer here, or I think I have like a 4 or 6 or something. I'll just start it, put it up there. Use what scrap I have. I don't think there's another splice there, so, well, that is where the splice is in that first top plate, so I'll use a 16. I don't know if a 16 will go all the way. I'm not sure if this was an 8-footer or not. Yeah, I'll be cutting that off over there. Whoops. All right, so I'm gonna have to try to drive that one over. All right, so here's what I'm gonna do. So if you can see, this top plate that I'm trying to nail down is hanging over, and it needs to be flush with this plate. But when I push it, you know, it just springs back, and I can't even do it with one hand, but it just springs back. So what I did is I just drove a nail right here, and I'll put my claw on it, and when I have two hands available, I'll just slide it over like this and nail it in place. But I need two hands to do that, and I don't have a cameraman, so something's got to give. So you can just trust that that's what I'm doing, and I'll show you when it's done. All right, so that worked out. So, but I'm gonna have to do it again on further down. I was able to get it flush here, nice and flush, but I'm gonna have to do it again down there, probably. I don't think I can push it over. I'll try it first, but if that don't work, then I'll put a nail in it and use my claw hammer and pull it over. So when I nailed it off, you know, since being this is a splice, put two nails on this side, two nails on this side. And actually, I'm gonna do three nails. Put three there and three there. I'm gonna do that now. There. Now I feel better. All right, so now I'll go ahead and finish this off. So I think we're all good here. I can pull that in a little bit right there. All right, so now slide over here and cut this top plate back 3.5 inches so this adjacent wall will tie into it when it's built. Can't see. All right, that half is done. So now I just need to work on this front wall behind you. All right, so this will be the outside. Just mark that crown. All right, if that's the outside, then that's going to be the right corner. That's going to be that corner. So I'm going to pull from this end and start it out at 15.25. So I'm just going to, instead of driving a nail in there and then pulling every 16 from there, I just know that on my 16 mark, set back 3/4 inch on each one. I'm used to doing it that way, so it works for me. All right, I always put these out of reach. Okay, here we go. One more. I'm going to work on the header now for the man door. I've got most of it laid out. Still need to cut the 2x12. just looking to see if these boards have any cup in it. This one does, so I'm gonna put the cup to the inside. Oh, I didn't rip this down yet. I'll do that in a second. I'll just go ahead and tack this in place. This one looks nice, so whoops. Whoops, whoops. Right, there we go. So if you notice, I can't say I always do this, but if I think about it, I do it. I'll angle the nails this way on one row and then go back and angle them the opposite way on the other row. Just adds to the strength of it all, but you know, I don't always do that. If I'm thinking about it, I'll do it. This battery's about dead. Let's see. I think we're good. I think we're good. Add some plates to the top and bottom. Yeah. I didn't do that for the windows. I really don't think it's needed, but why not? I think that looks pretty good. Looks like a door fit there. All right. Yeah, that's pretty good, pretty good. Come on. Now I don't know what else I want to do today. I think I'm done. I think I'm gonna wrap it up. I might cut those walls or those windows out, but I might just wait till I get the roof on. So that was all I decided to do today. Didn't seem like I got a whole lot done, but stuff that had to be done, that top plate, except for that area over the big garage door. I didn't want to do that yet because, well, I just wanted to make sure the LVL got in place and I didn't have anything else in the way to get that set in. I decided to wait. I'll cut those windows out later, and I don't think it really needs to be done right now, and plus it just adds to the strength right now until I get the rest of the sheeting up. So I'll just leave it where it is for now. I did go ahead and lay out the rafters and get a couple cut. That gives you an idea what the pitch will look like. But so the next video, I'll be cutting rafters and I'll show you how I go about doing that. So as you can see, here's a pattern. Here's some of my layout notes. So anyway, come back and I'll be doing the rafters next, and I'll show you how I get that done. All right, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. See you next time.